Hello, this is Lisa LaRose here on Connect to Love on PRN-FM, and I am joined by the incredible Michael J. Ross. I want to welcome you, Michael, and say hello. I know you are like me, where I'm like a kid in a candy store whenever we have Carol Collins, the Channel for the Teachers, join us. We have her here today, and I just want to say welcome, Carol. I'm so excited to have you join us.
I love these monthly chats that we have.
Yeah, love having you.
It is truly. It's a gift that keeps on giving, because every time I re-listen to the times that we share and the information that the teachers bring forth, it is just incredible. And you, Carol, as a human being, too. The last show, you shared so much. I said, the teachers didn't even come in, but it was just such an amazing conversation. I know that Michael enjoyed it as much as I did.
Of course I did. Yeah, absolutely. Saying how the energy hits new height when you're on, Carol. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it does. Really ramps up. We're looking forward to what you have to say today. What teachers, if they want to chime in, what they have to say today, because it's...
Yeah, they always do. I'm sure we'll hear from them.
So I'm not who started speaking to me, if it's my guides or the teachers that are coming in, and they kind of give me something, I think, that goes beyond my five senses. Sometimes I feel that I'm guided to information, and I know that it's just not me. I think that there's an awareness that's readily available to all of us. And that's been one of the gifts with connecting with you, Carol, because it's allowed me to expand and to really be present and recognize not just my five senses that I see and hear and feel, taste, touch, all the smell, all of those things, but something else, that there's something else out there that guides me and empowers me to expand and really engage and move towards something that I feel is part of my higher purpose. And I think that is one of the things that you, and for any of our audience members who may be just joining us new, Carol's personal awakening was spontaneous and profound. And she had sort of a different lifestyle before she began to have what you would call a life challenge. And that opened up new doorways to her. And she began to explore the practice of silent meditation that led her about 9 months later for her non-physical team, known as the teachers, to introduce themselves to her. And from that has become really so many amazing teachings, not just the essential material, which they deliver as well as readings, but so much information, and really it's incredible guidance. So, Carol, I'm so grateful to you for making the time, because there's so much within this that has created an awareness for me, and I know that even with Michael, that there is an awareness for him as well. And to be able to acknowledge that and know that the information that's coming from this place of guidance is so powerful.
Thank you. I just want to say, I love being here, and I love these conversations that we have every month. And the teachers do, as they've said, sometimes they do come forward, and I just say, breathe life into the conversation through me. And other times, as we've talked about, they say, the conversation has been crafted and then pushed towards the three of us, and then we have a conversation, and it just feels like everything is unfolding in a way that just feels like there was some help. And that's really what intuition is. It feels like, I'm pretty sure that this is not what I would normally do, or what I would normally think, or what I would normally choose, but it feels good. So even when something is different than you would normally do, it could be, you're getting ready to buy an outfit for the holidays, or you're getting ready to do your daily routine and you want to change it up, even though it's new. And usually when things are new, we have a little excitement, but also awareness that it's new. That awareness can make us second guess ourselves. But sometimes we do something that's new and it feels so good that it kind of gives us the feeling that I'm pretty sure I was helped out with this decision, because it's not what I would normally do or normally wear or normally choose. And so, sometimes the teachers do that in these conversations. They just craft, and then they push towards us, and then we magically have this interaction, and I love that. It is, just to reflect on what you just said, Lisa, our five senses are the five that we've been taught. And then there is EST, and they've been bringing that acronym back lately. It's something that we talked about in the beginning 5 years ago. But, extrasensory perception. It's extra. What is the extra? Intuition. Intuition is not us. It's not, something that we have and we just break it out and use it sometimes. It's not something that we use. It's the subconscious mind and what it chooses. And when it chooses to manifest guidance, then that's the extrasensory, that the non-physical mind has the ability to use the 5 physical senses or its own non-physical sense. So you've got 5 plus 1, plus 2, because a mediumship is the 7th sense, channeling specifically. And so, that extra that seems outside of ourselves, it is. But how do you know if it's good law of attraction or intuition? You don't know. You may have a beautiful thing to say and it just pops into your head. Is it a moment of clairvoyance? Well, if you've done silent meditation for a good long time, it could be. But more than likely, it's intuition or positive law of attraction. And both of those means that your emotional self is on the right path. And it's a good, fun thing. So that 6th thing, that extra thing, ESP, extrasensory perception. It is the non-physical mind tuning in and accepting guidance because it could turn away from it.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Vision, by the way.
It's wonderful. I was just thinking as you were sharing that, like, we're all experiencing this human experience, and to know that there is something beyond this physical body that allows us to perceive information and sort of access knowledge, wisdom, insight, intuition through our intuition is so important. And I'm curious, because I just know this through my own process and the different things that I've been experiencing. There's the ego self, and then there's, like, I'm doing this. And the teachers have alluded to this in the past. But there's something beyond that ego that when you can kind of push that aside and tune into that vast reservoir of knowledge, connection, whatever it is in that higher level, whether it be dropping in through joy and love, that it helps to bring forth things in a more powerful way. And I hope I'm articulating that correctly.
Yeah, no, you are, and it's lovely. The teachers have a specific way of describing things. That non-physical self. They call it the grid. Other spiritual teachers have called it the Akashic. And they said, well, the Akashic, it is what it is, but that term doesn't resonate with the world's population as much as it used to. You just have to change things up sometimes. And so they said it is a grid structure, and it's where all of our physical life experiences, it's held in the grid. And there's swirling inside the grid, like a vortex that brings energy in, brings thoughts and emotions in, and then there's a vortex out, which brings experiences and emotions out. So we draw in, and then we manifest out. And so the idea of being guided, and that there's something else out there, that there's higher power, well, that is, it's the right way to think. It's the right thought process. Because when you start to believe in those kind of things, existential things, then you start to draw yourself to different spiritual teachers. And when you draw yourself to a non-physical spiritual, and I mean spiritual teachers, a non-physical being, not human beings that are teaching the philosophy of existentialism, which you do have. We have philosophers, and they teach their theory on it. But when you have non-physical beings that do out loud channeling, they teach existentialism. And so they describe it rather concretely. The grid or the vortex or the inner child or the emotional self, the ego, the egoic self, all of those things are synonyms for the Akashic, which is your life story. Your here and now life story is, this lifetime and this lifetime only. And that egoic self is the one that is law of attraction. So there's so many different descriptions. And when you put them all together, the teachers say these all mean the same thing. Number one, oneness within, inner child, inner self, egoic self, the inner mind, the intermind, the non-physical me, the grid, the aspect, my non-physical being in physical incarnate state, my physical form, and my non-physical mind, the quantum inner me, all of those things mean the same thing. And that is the non-physical component to our physical life. And that, the egoic self, all of that, that's all law of attraction, which simply means what we have drawn to us, we will create with. And the teachers have been using this analogy, and I love it. The students seem to love it. If it's in the pantry, you will cook with it. And what goes in the pantry are all the experiences that you have had. And experiences include all of the emotions that are coupled into the experience. And they said, but experiences are not just what you are literally involved in, but experience is, the mind journey that you take when you read a book or watch a movie or watch television or read a poem or watch a play or listen to music. It's, the mind journey is an experience. And there's a lot of bad television out there, video games. There's good learning and logic things, but there's a lot of sarcasm on TV and a lot of violence. And so but all of that is in the egoic self or the grid or the Akashic. All of those things mean the same thing. And that's what we operate from. That's law of attraction. And they say 98% of the time we are operating from that perspective. But the non-physical mind also has built-in free will. And it has the ability to, on its own, ignore law of attraction and what it would have manifested and choosing guidance instead. So ESP is a choice that the subconscious mind makes on its own. And it is a learning process to get it to do that more and more and more and more often. Silent meditation helps with that. And that opens your mind to higher power, which is guides and then teachers of guides, and also for them to be able to bring loved ones in and have an energetic moment or a conversational moment. All of those things are, what we're designed to do. We just have to find an interest in it and then slow our mind down and accept that what we've been taught, go, 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 get, buy, manifest, 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 that's fun. But it's not the only thing. It's like work-life balance. What about work, life, me, and social? It's balance. When we've broken it down into two categories, but those two categories really aren't enough because it doesn't include me time and doesn't include lifetime, social time. And life so many times ends up being my responsibilities at home, my work and my life balance. But life, when you break that one down, that third echelon down, life is who am I and who am I trying to become? And who relies on me? And also, what do I like to do to have fun? And who do I like to do it with? And that, when you think of all of that, and then you also add on the work part of it, it's like a Venn diagram. They have to blend or bleed over a little bit because you want to have work that feels good to you and you want to enjoy what you do and who you do it with and how much of it you are doing and how much of it comprises your day or week experience. And so it's all about balance and it's all about slowing down so that the subconscious mind can tune into that higher power by way of free will choice, which is the sixth sense that they have been terming or recycling the term ESP.
I love it. And that's a great explanation of it, by the way. We have. I love the way it's been explained, and it makes sense to me because I've heard the grid, the vortex, and all that. But you've put it in a clear, concise manner that when we slow down, we give ourselves the ability, the space to expand what you're talking about for those listeners out there. Am I right? But also remember, slow down temporarily.
So one of the things that they have been telling students for a while now is get up in the morning and do a little bit of cat-cow stretch. For those listeners that aren't sure what that means, those are two yoga positions, and you're taking your torso, your rib cage, and stretching it forward and then stretching it backwards. So you're arching it and then arcing it. And that's just enough to open up the muscles and the ligaments that get tight overnight when we sleep. So wake up nice and quiet and just, do a little bit of that upper body stretching, just a little, and then sit down in a quiet place with the house quiet, curl up in a ball but sitting up, and then just quiet your mind for 3 to 12 minutes. 3 to 12. 3 is a magic number, and 3 times 4 is a magic number. 4 and 3 is 7, so that means I'm preparing my mind, and when you add those together, it's 12 at the optimum, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So the 3 scenario is I am ready to receive more. I am ready. And then you just quiet your mind. But as soon as that bell or that alarm goes off, exhale nice and loud and let it be like a sigh of relief. And it is a sigh of relief because in that silent time, however many minutes that you chose to do, and trying not to go over 12, but no matter what, in that amount of time, your non-physical team is getting in there and doing a little bit more early morning emotional wellness. And then get up and move about quickly, because what you don't want to do is teach the subconscious mind, which is the egoic self, will cause you to be late or early or, miss something or typos or to have a perfect conversation. But if you can accidentally teach it that you want to slow down overall, and you don't want that because you want to manifest quickly. So, but slow your mind down, quiet the mind in meditation. And so a way to say, I want perfect attention on my non-physical team in meditation, and then fast manifesting is, nice and slow. Go into your meditation, and then get up and move about quickly. Get up, make the bed fast. Get up, take a shower fast. Get dressed fast, and do another 3 to 12 minutes of fast, to make sure that the mind doesn't make an oops, and lean into. I think what my person is trying to influence me to do is be slow overall, and that's not what you want to do. So you got to add in some speed work, some gentle slow work, and some speed work, and then round it out.
Wow.
That's very balanced.
It is. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's balance, right? Yeah. It certainly is. That creates balance overall.
Well, and I love, when you had mentioned they're bringing back the word ESP, but even I think back to when yoga sort of came to this country and sort of became popular, and it was all about creating that awareness. And the fact that the teachers are bringing in the word ESP, bringing us back to that awareness of that which is readily available to us, and awakening that inner mind to the wisdom that is available to all of us. I love it.
Yeah.
So much so.
Yeah, but what you said is more key than most people know, available to us. ESP, which is the free will choice of the inner mind, to choose intuition, and that is available to us. It's not automatic. And every good thought that we have is not by way of intuition. Sometimes we can surprise ourselves and just have a really beautiful human thought that feels so powerfully good that we sit back and say, I think I must have been guided. I must have been, because I'm a nice person, but wow, those words were just perfect. And so it's always nice to just say, I know that could have been good law of attraction or intuition, and I hope it was intuition, because that tells your subconscious mind, do both, but if you have to choose one, make it intuition. Because, of course, the non-physical team, they, even on our best day, they could create it even better. And so it's just a phrase that I've got little Post-it notes, one in my car, one in my bathroom. Good law of attraction is good. Intuition is even better. Just a fun thing to
do. That's great.
That. I love it. I love those little, sharing that little Post-it note thought with us. That's really nice to have, that kind of affirmation for yourself. It's nice to know what you do. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. And I do have sticky notes. And, when people get in my car, unless they're people that know me, I do move them, because the last thing you want to do is add embarrassment. You're doing something that you believe in, but you also have to recognize you don't need to make a show of it. And it doesn't mean that you're hiding it. It means I know who I am, and I also know who other people are. And if we're not on the same wavelength, maybe they'll get where I am if I think I'm further along on that topic, but I don't need to make a show of it, and I don't need to cause anybody to kind of wonder what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And so it's okay. Sticky notes are nice like that. Magnets on the fridge. It's always just a good way. It's a reminder. And that reminder is personal. And so, write that kind of a phrase in a way that feels good to you. And for me, it's just that. Law of attraction is good. But intuition is even better. And then I've just put a little smile face on it.
I love that.
So it reminds me to read it with happiness. Read it with happiness.
Yeah.
And so, but take care of yourselves, people. Take care of yourselves, and don't push yourself too far into. If I take it down, I am telling my non-physical mind or my subconscious mind that I'm embarrassed or ashamed of this. I want it to be utmost important. It is, but if it feels good to leave it up, leave it up. And if it feels good to make it private, when someone else gets in your car or walks into your bathroom, then do that. It's me time is good, but taking care of yourself in the moment, that's an ongoing thing all day long. Take care of me. Take care of me.
Really happy.
And then you're ready to take care of others.
I'm happy you addressed it, that aspect of things, because I know that I've been asked that question before, at some point in the past, about things that I do, affirmations I have. Do you share them with other people? I mean, I don't even share anything with my family or my girlfriend. It's me. It's private to me. This is my life, and I'm advancing myself and expanding my intuition and my joy. And it's because, and the reason I say that, I guess, is because everybody has a choice to move in that direction. Now, the result of what they see is influential, can be influential, when they see how awesome I feel, what radiates from me, let's just say that. As a result of what I do, the affirmations I say, the thinking, my process of meditation and moving past that, to me, I've been told by others that I am, people come to you and say, wow, you look awesome. You are awesome. When they ask you how you feel, I say, I feel amazing. And they go, yeah, I can tell, right? People can sense it, but they don't necessarily need to know exactly how the process of how you got there. To me, it is private. It's personal to me, and I don't feel like people might think, I need the other person's approval to that I'm doing something to help myself, when you really don't.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, no, totally. I think I was going to say it's kind of like having a playlist on your on your phone or wherever you keep your music, and you're curating list of things that make you happy, bring you joy, take you back to a moment, and it's for you. And you can share your playlist with somebody, but their playlist isn't going to be the same as yours. And it's about not needing approval for that. Like, oh, do you think it's okay if I have this song on my playlist? No, you're a sovereign being, and you're a being of light, and you're going to put what your soul needs for its growth. And I'm sort of the same way. I don't use Post-it notes, Carol, but I write things on a piece of paper. And the other day when it was 11/11, I thought, well, this is what I want to do. And I did a little ritual, and I folded it up and read it through, and I keep it on my person, and it's something for me. I don't need to read it to anybody else, but it's just sort of for me personally. So I do appreciate that.
Thanks for sharing. I will just, but things are personal. But sometimes if you're with the wrong person, they might think it's weird. And so, they've been talking about the vibrance and the neutrals and how everything within our natural environment falls into one category or the other. Vibrance match the rainbow. Neutrals match whites, silvers, browns, and blacks. Tans, mochas, all those fall into that category. And so every once in a while, when I'm out walking, when I feel the impulse to do so, I might snatch a leaf off a tree limb or from a shrub, or some petals off of a flower, and I stick them in my back pocket or my front pocket, because in my back pocket, the vibration, let's say green, let's say I have green and red. The green and red, the green aligns to and provides healing agent for the green chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is where, we draw emotions from. And red aligns to and provides an instrument for healing within the red chakra, which is the root, which is where all of our limitations are. And so, sometimes I put it in my back pocket as I'm walking because it's fresh off of the shrub or the tree, and it's providing an agent of healing. Not just means I have to get in there and use it, but I'm saying, hey, I want to participate, and I put it in my back pocket because on the rear side of you, from your top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet are things from childhood, and the sides are newer than that, and the very front of your body is the newest experiences. And so when I do that, I always reflect for a minute. Use this on things that I'm ready to let go of from childhood, or put it in my front pocket and say, use this for things that I'm ready to let go of that are newer experiences for me. But, plucking a leaf and sticking it in your pocket, if you're with the wrong person, they might say, why did you do that? And, they make that crinkle face, and it's, it's confusion, not always critical and judgment. But if you have to explain it, then it kind of loses a little bit of its, lose a little bit of its, this is personal to me. I just pluck the one that I feel drawn to, and I stick it in my pocket because I know it's useful, and then I keep on walking, and it just provides, have you ever, and both of you, I know you guys take walks, and especially you, Micah, you take nice long ones every day. Do you ever find yourself smiling, and you didn't do it on purpose? You just realize that you are smiling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is the egoic self saying, I feel loved. I feel loved in this moment. Wow. So for whatever reason, you might have, walked through, because thought is also in the air. It's within the grid, the personal energy field, but secondary copies in the air. And so you might have walked through somebody else's joyful moment, or it might be creating a happy moment, or it might have selected intuition. The opportunities are endless. But I like to think that, when I do those little rituals or those little, things that I'm drawn to, somehow within the subconscious mind, I am in a nonverbal way saying, choose happy today. Choose happy. Choose happy. I'm gonna show my appreciation for happy, and I hope that the subconscious mind follows through and chooses it as well, because it's a combined effect. You know, the subconscious mind is law of attraction. It's not the universe. It's not guides everywhere. It's not a cosmic oneness that we have to align to. It's our personal cosmic bubble, quantum energy field. It's our personal draw and manifesting. You know, it's our personal push and pull. That's law of attraction. And so we get to influence ourselves, but when we do, then that secondary copy goes in the air, and then it's useful for other people as well. It's just such a beautiful thing when you step into a nice, healthy view of spiritual faith.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I love. When I take a walk, I'm noticing just taking in everything. I guess there's so much beauty. There's so much. The sky is beautiful. The sun feels good on my skin. The breeze is amazing. That's blowing by me. It's just where I am. The air smells clean and fresh, and my senses are just. I'm not going to say they're on fire. They're just heightened. That's basically heightened, and it's before. I was out this morning at like 5. I think I was out at 5:30 this morning, and noticing just how wonderful it was. Noticing the sun was coming up, and there were some clouds. I actually took some pictures of that. The sun was reflecting off of. They were orangish. They're various shades of orange, just really interesting. And then way high up, the winds were blowing very, very, very fast, and so the clouds were like brushes had painted them across the sky. It was fantastic. There's just something about that time of the day that is very peaceful and joyful to me. And yes, I find myself smiling a lot just from that. And when I do, oddly enough, I do kind of I think that I go, I love life. I love myself. I love my life. I just love. I love everything about that moment, being in that moment, and it's precious. It really is.
I agree. And I love that you brought up, Michael, about noticing the subtle, because I think that's sort of how we start to be present and we recognize what is all around us and tuning in. And the gifts from the teachers, I think, and our guides is like that. It's subtle. And I just want to say that for any of our audience who are curious about how they can learn a little bit more, because I just want to mention this before, because we still have a lot more to talk about, but if you can go to channelingtheteachers.com, you will find access to the classes, the unfoldment classes, the art of self-healing, the workshops, so many of the teachings, the books, the how to get a reading, how to get an attunement. So many of the wisdom that the teachers share that's channeled through Carol is just incredible, and it's really a gift. I know before the show we just spoke briefly about something that they wanted to bring through, and I want to make sure we touch on it before, so we don't run out of time. Absolutely. About illuminating and endeavoring. So, Carol or the teachers, I'd love for you to share. Because I know that was something that was important that they wanted to cover.
We are here, and we always do craft these conversations. We have guidance that we bring to people, but people don't hear us. They don't hear us here, meaning clairvoyantly or out loud. Out loud is a deeper, stronger skill, and normally you bring it into the physical world with an intention to use it. It can be learned, but when it is learned, it is shallower. And so we do want students to understand that. It is useful in this non-physical place, but in the physical place where you are, you don't hear us. And so we do nudge, and we do clear energy, and we do help you in many, many ways. But when the mind finds preference, and we capitalize it because it's inner mind preference, then it will choose intuition. It will allow us to take a part in your life in a more meaningful way, at least momentarily. And so we have guidance and we have teaching. When we teach, students sometimes listen and sometimes they take notes. When you take notes, you're not listening in that moment because you are reviewing in your own mind what you already heard. And so while the lecture is going, when you take notes, it is your mind saying, this is pleasing to me. I must write it before I forget it. And that in itself is undesirable because then you teach yourself that you forget, of course, but also you miss out on the upcoming words that we have to teach. And it is all right, but that's why we like to do things by video, by recording, but also live. Because then you can listen again and again and again. And so what we do in these classes and workshops and the get-togethers, we illuminate existential truth. Existential truth. And so you have a wide, wide world. And you do have beliefs in it. And you do have human, straightforward teachers within it. And human, straightforward teachers are teaching what feels like the right thing to teach. And when we peer in the physical domain, we see whether they're on track, slightly off track, way off track, or not even close. And there is some of all of it. And so non-physical teachers we are, and non-physical teachers we will always be, because it is what we do now. And so when we teach through a human being in the way of channels, out loud, there is repetition because we need to illuminate. We highlight what we are wanting the inner mind to adopt. When it adopts a new behavior, a new thought process that we have offered to it, then it will help you endeavor towards manifesting whatever it is that your heart desires. And so illuminate thoughtful gestures, thoughtful activities, thoughtful conversation, and then endeavor for more of it to you and from you. Endeavor, human beings, for anything and everything. But determine what it is that you are wanting ahead of time. And then do one more thing. Pause. And then make one addition. I want this for me and for others who are like-minded. I want to give and receive friendly. I want to be a part of, and I want to engage in. I want to invite, and I want to be invited. And then you have both halves, which goes back to your human conversation a moment ago about balance. Balance in all things. But don't forget, it's not just the giving. It is also receiving. And so endeavor, after you have slowed your mind and made a decision on what you are wanting, and then add on to that wanting. Because whatever it is that you are asking for, whether it be for another or for yourself, also add the opposite. Because all people are in need. And then you both get from the same intention thought. We love you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's illuminating. I will say that.
That was lovely.
It was lovely. I think it left us speechless.
Yeah, it's nice. Gosh, it's a pleasure to have these conversations with you guys every month, and it is like that. You know, it's kind of like drop the mic moment, but it's something to think about. You know, both sides.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's definitely something that will that it's meaty. My mind can chew on it for a while. I guess that's the metaphor I would use. But yeah, it's sticky for me.
I was getting a visual. Yeah, no, absolutely. For me, as the teachers were speaking, I was getting a visual of just being in a dark room and how you strike a match, and sometimes you strike it on a box or whatever. It doesn't always take spark and illuminate right away, and so then you do it again, and all of a sudden, then you have this flash of brightness, and that's what I was visualizing as they were speaking, was like, okay, it doesn't take much, and then as you continue, more and more information will illuminate your path and lead you to the right people and the right doorways, and all we have to do is take that first step. So thank you.
Yeah,
it is repetition. It is repetition. And also, for the viewers, think about that. If you have enjoyed this episode, then do so again. And then in your thought process, simply say, I enjoyed this very much. And I know other people will as well. I like listening to this, and I like reflecting on it or talking about it. It's the extension. And I'm really honored to be here, and I thank you both for it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I like that. When you said that, I just, you liked it very much. You loved it, and you know other people will love it as well. Kind of expand upon what that does for you and the energy that it brings forth. Can you do that? Because I know that you talk about repetition, and I know you talk about language is an incredibly important aspect of this.
This is James to Speak, Carol's Guide. It is simply like this. When you feel joy, share it, and then it multiplies. And it is as simple as that. And you can choose how to share it. I want to engage in this re-listening of this conversation, and then I want to reflect on it. It's the and, we like to say. It is sharing. Share, share, share. But you can share in many ways. And if it feels good to you, then engage in it. And then know that others who are like-minded will be drawn to the same thing. Maybe a different episode, but the same thing, which is healthy listening, healthy learning, existential teaching from those of us that are in this beautiful, non-physical place. When you reflect, you are, as so many others have said, giving unto yourself and unto others. The way you give to others does not need to be a specific individual that you have in mind or in your sight or in your grasp. But when you give unto yourself those thoughts, that experience, it is duplicated. It goes into your non-physical mind, and it also goes into your airspace where it is available for all. And then you have ultimate organic sharing. How does that feel? Well, we want it to feel perfect. How do you make it feel perfect? You have to engage with premium emotion. I'm confident that I've understood this topic. I'm interested in more. I feel happy that I was invited to listen to it, or that I made the time for it, or that I was introduced to it. I am proud of myself for engaging in this kind of material and this kind of learning. And those four things combine on one topic. It's like swirling of the energies. Those things combined create the wavelength of joy. And when you are using joy, the inner mind creates another wavelength of it. And so you joyfully create and share. It goes on and on and on. We could teach on that one forever. We won't today, though. But it is good to reflect and then share what feels good to share, and let it be just that much.
I love that.
I do too. And when we share, does it help to strengthen our grid as well as add to the grid of those around us?
It does. It does if the emotions are healthy. That's why we say reflect about what you want to share, and then share all of it that you feel good about, that feels good. And it does not feel good to feel ashamed or unsure or concerned or doubtful. And so if this is a powerful conversation, or parts of it are powerful for individuals, and it feels good to share, then do so. And in that sharing, you have added powerful, positive emotion to your own memory. That's what the grid is. It's the housing mechanism for your memory. And then it also goes into your airspace, where it is available for others. And so it doesn't automatically go into the memory mind or the non-physical mind of another human being, but it is available. How do you draw it to you? Well, let's say sometime next week, the three of you and three more listeners, at some time during the week, you're all reflecting on how lovely this Connect to Love conversation is, or in general, how lovely this podcast is. If the three of you and the three of your listeners within 1 week's time are all reflecting on this particular endeavor, then you will align your energies if you all have similar emotions. So if you're all happy and pleasant-minded, then all 6 of you are combining your thoughts in the airspace, but also adding those individual thoughts to your own grid. And so in the grid, you have the quantity that you have masterminded. But the like-mindedness, it's not a difficult thing to understand. Thoughts are energy. And when you have people at the same moment in time on the same subject using very similar emotions, then magnetic attraction causes those thoughts to come together. And it doesn't matter where you are on this beautiful globe that you all live in. You can be all the way across the globe or right next door. It matters not. Energy of thought combines instantaneously. And so then when you are reflecting upon it the next time, you are adding more to your own personal grid, and then perhaps drawing from the even stronger. And so, that the happy and then movement, the positivity movement, it is all for one and one for all. We're all in this together. Like-minded thoughts that have similar emotions gather together. But that does go for negative emotion as well as positive. And so keep that in mind. Move off the topic quickly when it's negative emotion coupled with it. And realign your thought and emotion to anything positive so that you gather those energies and those energies only.
I love that.
Yeah, I agree. You've just described there how when a bunch of people come together with the same joy and pleasant thoughts, how they bind together, and now it grows exponentially from there. Do I have that right?
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
All right. Okay. I love this. We have a friend, that somebody who's not necessarily that we know, that is that puts together a meditation group, not necessarily that has a meditation at a certain time, at a certain day of the week. All around the world, people come together at the same time, no matter what time that is in their country, and they sit for a moment and think and do this. Think joyful, positive, pleasant thoughts together on their own, but yet together from all over the world. So, in my view, this is what we need right about now. That's why I guess I'm saying this, is that a lot of people are thinking individually, and this aspect of it to me is valuable in many, many ways. And I know that what I'm trying to say here is that in my view, there's a huge need for this in terms of shifting consciousness here on this earthly plane right now with a lot of things. It's a lot of negative, and this is a way to move past that, to transmute that, transform that. Would I be right in that aspect?
You are more than you know. And when you have people that bring themselves together on a certain day, on a certain hour, for a certain purpose, and they all combine their thought, then you are on purpose aligning your energies together. We would say add the emotional component within the distribution in the advertising for that kind of an event, and let it be an audio so that people can hear it. And so we would say like this: Michael, what is your favorite mantra?
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I can't say I have a favorite mantra. Wow. I don't.
We'll supplement.
How about
supplement for you?
Yeah, go please.
It's interesting because sometimes when people are so eager to contribute, their mind simply says, "But I don't want to. In this moment, I like being the listener." And so that's really what your mind is doing. It's not giving you different phrases that you have heard or adopted, but when asked, what is your favorite? And we kind of did this on purpose. What is your favorite? The mind says, huh? I really enjoyed listening. I have awareness of the energy within the conversation, meaning from the non-physical component. And so the mind simply said, I would rather in this moment listen than contribute. And so sometimes when people gather together to do those kind of things, they don't know if the inner mind is also paying attention. But when you provide some kind of audio ahead of time and add the emotion and perhaps the energy from frequencies that are good, then people can adopt it in their own private meditation mantra session. We call that quiet contemplation. And so let's just say a phrase might be, I love world peace. I adopt gentleness. And I am a part of peace. And so written on a piece of paper or in an email that's distributing out to everyone, one human being could read it quite quickly and say, okay, I think I know what to say. And another might add emphasis on a word or two, but an audio would cause someone to hear how they should say it. And then you have a majority that are saying it in the same way with the same emotion, so it's good to practice. I love world peace. I love world peace. I love world peace, and I love being a part of it. I love knowing that my gentleness is a part of creating world peace. Peace begins with one, and peace is for all. Peace is good, and peace is me, and peace is within everyone. World peace is my favorite. And so people can add on, but when you add that gentle, positive, elongated breath work inside saying those phrases, that tells the inner mind, hey, pay attention and help to manifest this. Because the elongated breath within the words, it makes you listen. It makes you listen. Just think of it makes you listen. It makes you listen. It makes you listen. It makes you listen. And there is a difference because that is the emotional wavelength inserted. And so that's the only thing that we would add to these global meditation moments are good. Good.
Wonderful dot on that I and a cross on that T. I love it. That's the whole thing.
What else can we do for all of you? We know that you have so many things to do and so many places to be. And so we are here and available. And we're on bended knee to human beings often because we like to engage and we don't always have the opportunity to. Not as many people are doing mediumship as the world needs. And so we are here. What else can we do for you? We know that you all enjoy these moments. So do we. How can we be of service to you?
I think that you can be of service in so many different ways. And I think the fact that you bring forth the power of both peace and joy and that connection and how that can actually impact ourselves. I heard the other day, and it really echoed in my heart that we only have so many heartbeats in this life and in this physical body. And so how are we going to spend those heartbeats? And the time with you, teachers, and Carol is such a gift for my heartbeats. So I just want to say thank you, because it brings me back to that consciousness awareness of and appreciation for that moment in time where I'm given wisdom that can help my journey flow a little bit easier. And I just want to mention again, so for anybody that is looking to learn a little bit more, to please look up channelingtheteachers.com, because there is so much wisdom and so much guidance, and it is available to us, and it does help us on this journey. And for me, one of my mantras, everything with ease and grace. And I think that these teachings and the wisdom that you bring through help that be a possibility for me, that everything can flow with ease and grace. And so, yeah, I mean, if there's anything else that you would like to add, I'd love for the teachers just to open up that, and before we close out the show.
You are not as ready as you think, because you move too quickly, you think too quickly, you respond too quickly, you decide too quickly. And when you don't decide quickly, then you fall into indecision. We do want you to be more ready than you are when you engage. Think and then respond. Think and then respond. But don't think while the other is speaking. Let someone speak and listen to the words. And then identify your reply if you have one, because you might not. When you allow the words to settle on you from another, those words might be enough to satisfy you both. It is a fast-paced world that you are in, but you don't have to adopt fast-paced responses when you have two-way dialogue. Slow it down a little bit, and you'll be more ready for that engagement. It is necessary. And we say it like this. You are loved. 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 Be loving. Be kind. Be good. Be happy. Be everything that you are wanting. Because when you are, you give unto yourself and unto others. But when you are impatient, you are not giving unto yourself nor others. Be more ready for the reply. To do so, you need to think about what was said, slow these conversations down, and savor the moment. You will be prouder and happier as a race of people when you do. Thank you for this moment with you. We love it, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sage
and
I thank them as well. It's very gentle. I said I thank them as well. It's such a gentle view. Yep. I know there's more on that. There's a self-healing class tonight, and I know there's kind of the energy of that's the thought that is kind of lingering in the air, and that usually happens when they plan to speak on it again. And so this class session tonight, have a feeling that that's probably going to be the case.
Well, that's so amazing. Well, I will be in class tonight. I'm so grateful that I can have that opportunity.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, Carol and the teacher, thank you so much for joining us once again. I don't know where our hour goes. It just seems to just disappear. But it is such an honor and such a blessing to have you here. And I'm just so grateful. And I don't know, Michael, if you want to add anything to close out the show?
No, I have
or
not.
Carol?
Echoed everything.
I'm all set. Yeah. I just say ditto.
We are complete. Well, thank you. Until next time. Thank you, all of us, for joining. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.